Hey everyone, Hava here, bringing you a video on Dragon Ball Daima. This is the premiere episode, episode 1 review. So with that, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So yes, it is premiere day. So excited. And I'll tell you what, the community in of itself has been a little bit torn on the series here. You had people that are very excited about it, very hyped about it, people that are a little bit lukewarm, and then of course people that can care less about this series because they think it's a retelling or a new version of GT, being what we've seen in the trailers about the mini versions of these characters. But I'll tell you what, first impressions really got me going here. I am all in on this series, and episode 1 did a bunch of different things, and no spoilers for right now. I will dive into spoilers and about the plot and everything in terms of at least episode 1 after my first impressions discussion right here. So I literally just thought, oh man, this is modern Dragon Ball, how we like it, right? We've been seeing a lot of that, of course, when Super came out. The animation for Super was the initial episodes, of course, for Realm of Gods, had its problems. And I'm hoping that they keep up with the level of animation that they're showing here, because it is A+. It reminds you of course, Superhero. When the Red Ribbon Army was showing the clips of the past, we get some of that here as well. For you Marvel fans out there, it's kind of like the TVA for Dragon Ball. You get to watch past history, and then of course how it's animated just looks so good. So you got a little nostalgia here, actually a lot of nostalgia in this first episode, to kind of get you back into the mindset of the Dragon Ball world, and then it starts laying out the plot. And I think it's a very simple plot, but hopefully it gets a little bit more rich and more complicated a little bit down the road. But it's Dragon Ball, the plot generally isn't all that complicated, fairly simple, good versus evil, etc, etc. So now, after my first impressions, again, I am all in on the series. I can't wait week by week to see what happens through the rest of the story. Now I'm going to now switch gears a little bit and talk a little bit about the plot, what you need to know, and a little bit more about episode 1. So if you guys, again, don't want to know too much about it before you see episode 1, this is where you can probably click off here and come back later. So let's talk about what you need to know in terms of understanding Daima, right? First and foremost, you need to understand this is going to reintroduce and probably go pretty deep into the demon realm. So the demon realm, we see a little bit of discussions about it in Z, of course, with demon Demon King in terms of Deborah, right, in the Majin Buu saga. We also have little mentions of it in Super, but more or less we see the most discussions about the demon realm in the JP game of superheroes, right? So Dragon Ball Superheroes, which is no longer available now, that I think shut down earlier this year. They really went crazy, but that's not canonized, right? It's just a lot of crazy characters like Limit Breaker, Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, and things of that nature. But they really touched a lot on the demon realm there. But in canonical, seemingly this is going to be canonical here. They're really gonna dive in and visit the demon realm. And one thing we find about the demon realm, it is connected to all 12 universes. So it is not its own universe, it's all connected. Later in the episode you find out they get to travel to any of the universes, and of course they chose universe 7 because of because of what happened in the Majin Buu saga. So the time frame where this takes place seemingly is right after the Majin Buu saga, right? So in between Majin Buu saga and in between the beginning of Super is where the timeline falls in this series here in Daima. So we get introduced to two seemingly the antagonists, or the initial antagonists here, in Goma and Dagetsu. I guess I'm saying that right, the Dagetsu and Goma. And again, they're revisiting the story of the Majin Buu saga, and even before, talking about Saiyans. And I loved it. All right, the visuals. I'm going to show you some visuals here. Boy, the look of Goku in the World Tournament with Majin Vegeta, A+, 10 out of 10, incredible. You saw some of the villains, right? Of course, you had a visual of Frieza, Cell with that green background there, and of course Majin Buu. And don't forget, Majin Buu, Majin is a race of people in the Dragon Ball universe. Buu itself is a character, but Majin is its own race. So we get, of course, introduced to other individuals who are in the Majin race in terms of the Dragon Ball universe here, and we see that in the games and things of that nature. So it kind of don't get confused that Majin and Majin Buu is just the race of Majin, and it's the name is Buu. You can see Ultimate Gohan there, man. Ultimate Gohan looks incredible. This right here, this whole revisiting and quick capture, catching up on what happened in Dragon Ball Z, made me just really hopeful and wish that someone would have the money to pay animators to redo the entire Z series in modern look like this. It would just be absolutely incredible. But we get a little bit of that with not as good, but we get a little bit of that with a Superhero, and then of course the series here. So yeah, after watching this portion of it, this is really just the beginning, right at the beginning, they're just going over all this again. I was all in. I was like, this is gonna be great. So again, I hope they don't skimp out on the animation later on, because again, A+ at this level here. So what we find out is, after Deborah has in a sense passed away, after Buu killed Deborah, and then of course the Z Fighters and everyone, I'm gonna say the Z Fighters, but Goku defeats Kid Buu, we get the understanding that Goma is now going to be the new king of the Demon Realm, and we get introduced to seemingly the younger brother of Supreme Kai in Dagetsu, and sister of Geo. We see a couple other characters as well, but it seems like Goma and Dagetsu are going to be right now the main antagonists of the series. So what happens is what creates the plot, and why we are basically showing the series here, is that Goma, being the new king now, is worried that he would lose his crown because of threats, and the threats would have been Buu. The threats would have been possibly the reincarnation, or the coming reincarnation of Buu and or Deborah, right? So Goma is like, okay, this is just, I don't want any more threats, and other people that can threaten us would be the individuals who killed Majin Buu and who defeated Deborah. So it's a very simple plot. Goma gets power, wants to keep power, and wants to eliminate any threats and risk that he would lose the crown to the Demon Realm. So we get introduced to this was very interesting. We get introduced to Neba. Neba, seemingly, not seemingly, it is a Namekian, and we find out Namekians aren't just from, Saiyans are from planet Vegeta, Earthlings are from Earth, and we all thought that Namekians were from planet Namek. But it seems like there's a retcon here, or maybe never been a retcon, but understanding now that Namekians are actually demons that travel to other places, and the Demon Realm have its own Dragon Balls. So I guess these universes got these Dragon Balls from the Demon Realm, right? So Neba, as you can see, very similar to what Kami looked like, or old Kami looked like. And it makes a lot more sense now that Demon King Piccolo in the original Dragon Ball series was called Demon King Piccolo. I don't know. I wonder if he was actually the Demon King before Deborah or something. We didn't really dive into that and why he got the monocle of Demon King. But yeah, very interesting. Again, possible retcon, or just more explanation about where Namekians come from, or just fueled this plot line here with Neba. So once they figured out, okay, great, let's go ahead and remove our threats, and use maybe the Dragon Balls to do so. But I guess the Dragon Balls really just doesn't have the devious powers of just eliminating and just wiping Goku and all our friends off of existence, right? They had to do something a little bit less sinister, and they said, let's just go ahead and turn them into kids so they're not threats anymore. Very simplistic plot line. A little bit, of course, a little bit more familiar in terms of the GT storyline as well. Let's turn them into kids so they'll be weakened, and of course, we know already that, you know, Goku, Vegeta, and the friends, just they're not going to be as weak as they would expect, right? So, so we switch on over to kind of a quick revisit into where our heroes are, and I'll tell you what, this was where, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm totally in. We get a little nugget, we get a little tease of how the fight scenes are going to look like in the series here, and they knocked it out of the park with this, I don't know, like seemingly 20 seconds or so of Goku and Vegeta fighting, and they're fighting while there's a birthday party going on. I think it's Trunks or Goten's birthday party, and it seems like things just go bad at birthday parties. You know, our heroes and friends should never have birthday parties anymore, because we know in Super, during Bulma's birthday party, we have this situation with Beerus, right? So birthday parties bad on Earth amongst our friends, but the fight, the little spar with Goku and Vegeta here was A++++. They do the Kamehameha, Gatling gun, beam struggle, the classic from the Saiyan saga, my favorite saga of Z. I just had a smile from ear to ear at this point in time. So I was like, I need to see more. Incredible. So after we, you know, kind of get revisited here, we see then the plot thickens with Neba coming to the lookout, and again, a little bit more very convenient here just to move the storyline. They're like, hey, we need to get this all done and get to the quest, the story, as fast as possible. So that's what really episode 1 really designed. Neba had the ability to just go ahead and say, where are the Dragon Balls, and bring the Dragon Balls to him. So Kami didn't have that power, right? You had to go look for the Dragon Balls on Earth, and et cetera, et cetera. No, Neba says, you know what, where are they? And they just, like a boomerang, just comes back right to you. Now, of course, the Earth Dragon Balls were turned into stone. They're not activated anymore since Kami is no longer there. But again, Neba having a little bit more convenience and don't understand his power. He's very, very powerful. He reactivates the Earth Dragon Balls and summons Shenron. Was surprised you get 3 wishes. So they have, of course, the first wish, and of course we know this, is turning the participants of the defeat of Majin Buu, turn them into kids. And then there's a second wish about opening up a third eye, or a power for Goma. And yeah, that was pretty much the end of episode 1. So it's all laid out here. I like where they're going. I like this one. There's a very simple plot. I like the visuals. I like the new characters. I like the villains. I like kind of everything about it. And my thoughts here, of course, we haven't got introduced to the new, protagonist, right? So we don't have the new heroes, and I'm guessing Glorio and Pansy. Of course, those are individuals that we meet during the trailer. Those are the good demons that basically, I would say maybe Pansy is like the rightful owner or the rightful heir to the throne, and not Goma, or something of that nature. And we find out that this is going to be a struggle for the throne, and who's going to be taking control of the throne of the demon realm, and we have to go on a quest to end up doing that. And of course, they only did the 2 wishes, and maybe the 3rd wish, they're able to get that later down the road, because we know how the story ends for our heroes, right? All heroes are okay. We don't know what the story is for the demons in the demon realm. So they have to make sure that this is interestingly enough, so that, and this is always a problem when we kind of do like slight prequels here. This is in the middle of the timeline. We know what turns out for the heroes. The heroes aren't going to die. They're not going to have any issues in terms of danger for their lives. However, we don't know in terms of these new characters. Does Glorio make it? Does Pansy make it? Goma and these other individuals. So that's what the interest needs to lie, and I hope that's where they go in terms of the plot. But I'm in. This was a fantastic episode 1. Again, visuals A+, storyline, plotline, very simple ones. I'll put it into kind of like a B minus. But nostalgia and happiness and joy, I'm up there in like a 9.5, not quite 10 here. Here was 10 in this area here, but overall, again, smile to ear. So hopefully you guys get to watch episode 1 as soon as possible, and then of course, I don't know if I'm going to do every week, maybe a quick discussion and review. But just let me know in the comment section below if you want to see that. So anyway, with that, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time. Later.